Hey everyone, we're going to wait for everyone to catch on. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Today we're going to be talking about Disney World Fastpass system. All right, we got one person. Hey Vanda, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Today we're going to be discussing Disney World Fastpass system. Just to give you guys a heads up. We'll wait for a few more followers to latch on. Hope everyone's doing well today. We'll go ahead and we'll just get started. Hi and welcome to Walt Express. We are here to help you make the most out of your Disney vacation. Whether you need help planning by one of our excellent travel agents or you need a step-by-step guide from our blog, we have you covered. As we go through our time together, make sure that you say hello, ask questions in the comment selection on the side. Don't be shy. Get a little dopey with us. I'm Nick Iman from Walt Express Travel and the Mousecapades podcast. Thanks for being here with me tonight. Tonight we're going to be discussing Walt Disney World FastPass system, the design theory, implementation, and most importantly, modifying. You can do a lot when it comes to modifying. That's one key area that a lot of guests don't realize that they have a lot of control over, and you actually do. But let's talk about the design theory behind the FastPass system. Disney implemented this a while back, and so the theory behind fast passes is so guests can get on attractions, at least 3 attractions per day that they can select fast passes for, and each attraction has a certain maximum number of guests that can actually ride the attraction that the actual attraction can handle on any given operating day. And here's an example. So Haunted Mansion, the example is maybe it can carry about 2,000 guests per operating hour throughout the day. During a 12-hour operating day, that would mean 24,000 guests could experience this attraction. So if they can handle 2,000 guests per operating hour, 24,000 guests to experience the attraction through a 12-hour operating period. So you can see, like, when you're going in and you're looking at your fast passes, when you have some that open up and you're scrolling through the app and you see one appeared and then it just disappeared next time you refresh. That's because someone else just picked it up, and Disney only allows a certain number of fast passes for each attraction for each given hour throughout the day. Some hours are better to snag a fast pass than others, and we'll get into some of that here, the logistics here in just a second. But I wanted to give you like the design theory with Disney's theory behind fast passes. It's a capacity issue, really, is what it is, you know. So like I said, the example for Haunted Mansion was the fact that, let's say Haunted Mansion can handle about 2,000 fast passes in any given hour. And that means throughout a 12-hour operating period, like I said, a maximum of 24,000 guests can experience the attraction. So that's the design theory. Let's talk about implementation of the FastPass system. And what we do as guests when we're going and traveling to the parks, and how we utilize those fast passes and implement that into your vacation. We already know there's some must-dos with every single Disney vacation. Flight of Passage for me is a must-do. Absolutely love that ride. A second to that would be like the Navi River, but really try to hone in on and get a fast pass for Flight of Passage. Slinky Dog Dash and Seven Dwarfs. You're definitely going to want to utilize fast passes for those rides for your Disney vacation. And so knowing the system, knowing the theory, and knowing even the operating window of when you can start utilizing those fast passes, you know, you can start using those fast passes 60 days out from your check-in date if you're staying on resort. Or if you're not staying on resort and you have tickets, you can use them up to 30 days in advance. But sometimes you might see on your Disney vacation that it's easier to get some of those must-do attractions, like I mentioned earlier, Flight of Passage, Slinky Dog Dash, Seven Dwarfs. Let's make it simple. Let's say that I have a vacation, or even you have a vacation on Monday, the start of the work week, right? On Monday, you check in to Walt Disney World, and on Friday, you're checking out. Sometimes some of those must-do rides aren't even available until later on in the end of the week. And don't be afraid, that happens quite often because everyone else that has their window opens up as well to start making fast passes. They may be checking out on that, Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever it may be. Sometimes they're accidentally snagging fast passes for the wrong date, but windows, what I'm trying to get at, overlap. And so sometimes you'll see that some of those must-do attractions may be more available near the end of your vacation. But how do we get those fast passes available for the start of our vacation, right? And that brings us to the third thing I want to talk about. We've talked about the design theory. When you're let me piggyback and go back real quick about implementation. When you go ahead and you access your MDE account and you're requesting all of these fast passes and trying to put them into your vacation. Sometimes you can get them on the front end of your trip. Sometimes you can get them on the back end of your trip. But when you hit accept through Disney, they give you a certain time frame when you can actually ride that attraction, right? And so that goes back to the whole design theory of the fast pass system, that they're only going to allow a certain number of guests any given hour throughout the day. So let's say on Monday I want to ride Kilimanjaro Safari, and it gives me a 5 o'clock p.m. in the afternoon, or evening I should say, time for that fast pass. I want to make sure that I get it for maybe after lunch, right? But it's only giving me a 5 o'clocker. Well, then we'll get into some modifying. You don't have to actually take what Disney gives you. You don't have to accept that at all. I would honestly say don't take it. My theory is when you're selecting your fast passes, what I like to do, and this all depends on how you like to modify as well. Do you like to go back to back to back on your 3 fast passes early in the morning, right? Do you like to wait until mid-morning and go back to back on your 3 fast passes until lunchtime, or are you an afternoon fast pass user? The best strategy that I have seen that works best for me and other families that I've talked to, you want to really back those up. And so what I mean by that, after you've implemented those fast passes into your vacation, you can go back in to the My Disney Experience application and modify those fast passes to make them go back to back to back. So you have a 1 hour window to use these fast passes. If I have a Kilimanjaro, let's say at 5 o'clock, and I really want to modify that to get it in the morning, and there's a modifying technique we'll get to here in a second. Let's just say, sorry, for all means purposes, I did get it for 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going backwards. Sorry about that. Now, hopefully I'm not confusing you guys. I think maybe I've lost you guys by this point. But to utilize your fast passes back to back, you can set them into the time frame window of a ride from 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 is when it would expire, right? So my second fast pass, you want to get it as close as you can to that 10 o'clock time spot. And that takes my third thing I want to talk about, modifying. When you go in there and you click on your fast pass, it'll bring it up in your My Disney Experience account. You can click that modify button that's in the top right hand corner, and once you click on that button, it's going to give you some other times that you can choose from. And you can keep refreshing. If you're on your phone, you're just going to keep pulling down, right, until the screen shoots back up. It's going to search for other times with other people that are canceling during that same window of time frame, right, of fast passes that you can snag. And so what I like to do is I like to make my 3 fast passes right up against each other, right after another, one like at 9, at 10, in a perfect world, 9, 10, and 11. I will go back in and modify those times so I can hit that 9, 10, 11 o'clock time frames on my fast passes. And to make life easier for myself, what I usually end up doing is I'll show up just 5 minutes before that first fast pass is about to expire. So then I can roll right into my second attraction and then walk around, grab a snack, and roll into my third attraction. But it's all about really modifying your fast passes. That's really what it's all about. Going in there, and there are companies that actually charge you for this information. that you can look up online, and they're going to charge you just to tell you to, if you want to get all the rides you want to get in, they'll charge you and teach you how to modify your fast pass. You can go in there yourself, like I said, and click on the fast pass that you want, click on modify, and change that time that'll accommodate your needs and your family, right? And that'll also enable you to get on as many attractions as you would like throughout the day. Good example, last June, and it's a busy time of the year in June, that and the Christmas season and the New Year season, right? But in June, uh, wife and I and the kiddo, it's very busy. So we all know it's very hot in June, right? You're arm to arm with everyone at the parks. You're trying to get from one attraction to the next because everyone else is running around as well. And so when we did structure our fast passes right off the bat, not too early in the morning, we get there early in the morning to get on some rides with little lines, and then start working our fast passes mid-morning up until like lunchtime, a late lunch, maybe a 12 or 1 o'clock lunchtime. But what was neat about that is when you start going in and you start modifying, and you're able to butt up these fast passes together one after another, right in order in a 3-hour time frame, that allows you to have the rest of the day, because what Disney is going to do is they're going to give you a fast pass after you've used your third one. And actually, it's not even after you used it, it's after you scan in line. So when you go to your third attraction and you scan your fast pass on your Magic Band, immediately get out that phone and start looking for other fast passes that are available throughout the day. So like if you're over at the Magic Kingdom and you really want to hit up Jungle Cruise and it's just been really busy, take whatever they'll give you, because what's really cool about the modifying aspect of your fast passes, you can go back in there, like I said, click on that ride and modify it and get a time that better accommodates your needs. Getting back to the story in June with my family, my wife and I can't really remember how many. I know it was over 20 something, like 21 or 22 rides, probably closer to 25. But we're talking, this is in June, and we got there mid-morning, and we're able to get on that many rides because we would go back in and take a look at our fast passes, modify those fast passes, and just keep hitting refresh on your screen. Keep hitting refresh until you get a time that really accommodates your family's needs. And I guarantee you, if you keep hitting refresh, you're not really going to, some rides now are going to be harder than others, but I guarantee you, you're going to be able to get on pretty much any attraction. Just make sure that you fast pass those must-dos, though, before you arrive. Make sure on that 60-day window, the must-dos like we talked about with Flight of Passage. That's going to be one ride that's going to be really hard to get. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to be able to get it on a day of, but you can most certainly try, right? And Seven Dwarfs, Slinky Dog Dash, once you've knocked all that stuff out at the various parks, right, then you can start gaining more fast passes throughout the day. Now, those rides that I just mentioned, by the way, are at different parks, 3 different parks, matter of fact. So I don't want you thinking all those rides are at the same park. They're all at different parks. So, but the paramount thing was to make sure that you have fast passes for those rides and get those 60 days out of your check-in date, which Disney allows you to go ahead and do that. And the important thing is, once you are there, and you do want to change up a fast pass, you have the option of doing that. You don't have to take the time that Disney gives you. You can definitely modify that time to better accommodate your needs so you can have a great time at the parks. And when you're on that third attraction, once you scan that band, definitely get that phone out and start looking for more attractions. Once you pick an attraction, even if it is like at 9 o'clock at night and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just take it. Because what you can do, again, like I said before, modify it. And the more you modify, the more rides you'll be able and attractions that you and your family will be able to get on, and you don't have to take the time that Disney gives you for that ride. I hear a lot from people all the time that say, I went to Disney, it was very busy, it was the worst experience I ever had. We talked about fast passes with some cast members. I didn't know about the fast pass system, or maybe they did know about the fast pass system, but they didn't know how to use it properly and how to really get those rides and modify the times to make sure that you can go right in order with those 3 fast passes, and then start attaining more fast passes throughout the day. So definitely take a look at the rides that you already have in your My Disney Experience account, and if you're close to your trip, if this is something that you're looking on doing, trying to modify some of those times to go 1, 2, 3, so you have the rest of the day to start attaining more fast passes and getting on more rides once you're there, go ahead and do that. It's the best thing that I do with my family every year when we take our family trip. It's definitely utilizing the fast pass system and how to use it properly and efficiently, right, through the My Disney Experience application. I hope you like it. That's all I got for right now. I hope all that made sense. I did cover a lot, and I know I did bounce around quite a bit. Do apologize for that, but the takeaway that I want you to take from this live is modifying those fast passes. Don't just accept what Disney gives you, because you don't have to accept what Disney gives you. You can modify that stuff. Go in there, hit the modify button to accommodate you and your family needs. So thanks for being with me. I hope you'll continue to make us a part of your weekly routine. Tune in next week, and we're going to be on the same channel, the same time. It's going to be Monday, 6 p.m. Central time. And in the meantime, check us out at waltexpress.com and Walt_Express on Instagram. You can find me on iTunes, Podcast Addict, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher Radio. Simply search for just Mousecapades Podcast. Find me on Instagram, Mousecapades_Nick. On Facebook, The Mousecapades Podcast. Or simply just search Nick Iman, and you can find me there on Facebook as well. Twitter account is going to be Mousecapades Pod. Thanks again, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.